Thank you very much, Matteo. Ladies and gentlemen, pleasure to be here and to welcome you to the press conference on the annual results of the European Investment Bank Group for 2019. Of course, for most of us, this is a very special day for us in the bank as well. We listened to the singing in the European Parliament last night. That was really impressive. We have not as big, but a similar ceremony, probably with the same tears and less expressions of joy than in the European Parliament tomorrow at the bank in Luxembourg. My colleagues on the podium have already been introduced, so we are going to do this together. And if you have special questions that should better be responded to by somebody who knows what he's talking about, or she, then I pass on to my colleagues in the Management Committee or the Directors Generals or the specialists of the bank. The results which I will outline today speak to the professionalism of EIB staff, whom I want to thank on this occasion for their hard work and dedication. And I know that many of them are going to be in front of their computers or TV sets in Luxembourg today, listening what I tell you about their work. These staff from still 28 EU member states of the Union left their passports at the door when they joined the bank. And these staff from all 28 countries of the Union have worked very hard to strengthen Europe's competitiveness and invest in Europe's future. The results which I will outline today reflect on their collective efforts to bring Europeans closer, to drive change for the better and to improve lives together. And I can tell you, 2019 has been a very good year. As a matter of fact, a surprisingly good year, because it started with a very big difficulty for us. Uncertainty about the impact of Brexit on our bank persisted until April or May. So we lost almost half a year at the beginning of the year. So at the end of the day, I must say it's almost a miracle that we concluded the business plan almost 100%. The EIB Group financed more than 72 billion euros of projects last year, an increase of 13% over the year before. I always insist on this formula. We invested into projects. We do not finance states or budgets, we finance projects. And you have to be aware that the cash contribution the member states, the owners of this bank, gave us over decades, in addition to the reserves that we were allowed to keep in the bank, and we made lots of reserves because we never made losses, significant at least ones. We rely completely on the capital markets. We finance our activities to the largest extent on the international capital markets by raising 60 to 90 billion euros per year in our funding exercises. And that works only if the investors from around the world have confidence in the quality of your projects. So that's the strength of the bank, that with the variety of professions represented in the staff of the bank, we can assure our investors that we will make the best out of their money. I'm very proud of this result since we started the year without the formal solution of Brexit. This forced us to reduce signatures for the first third of the year, or even the first half, and it did so considerably. In the spring of 2019, the governors of the EIB approved plans to fully replace the subscribed capital of the United Kingdom when Brexit takes place, which, as we know, is at midnight tomorrow, or to be precise, at 11 p.m. tomorrow. The bank's financial capacity to operate remains whole. Emotionally, we are greatly affected. The group's global result, it's 72.2 billion euros, shows the high demand for EIB financing across a broad range of sectors and countries. It shows how relevant the EU bank is for the hundreds of incredibly complex projects we finance around the world. Its depth across firms of different sizes, sectors, and policy areas is a testament to the unparalleled product offering of the EIB Group, from major infrastructure projects to supporting almost 400,000 SMEs across Europe and beyond. I think you will not find a broader and bigger database on SME financing than with us. The EIB Group enjoys unparalleled data on investment behavior of European firms and European SMEs that ensure our high impact financing. Last year, the Group's total investment supported came up to 280 billion euros. On average, we are achieving more investment while providing less of the financing ourselves to individual operations. So the leverage factor is enormously big. Last year, every euro we spent unlocked 2.88 euros in the projects we financed, an increase of 10% against the previous year. Every euro we spend is working harder year by year. In 2019, we signed a record 1,095 deals, an increase of 28% on the year before. That means that we are able to find and reach out to smaller companies, companies which for a large part we have not worked before. That was the expectation raised vis-à-vis us for the last years, again and again. Go for smaller projects with more and also with new clients and give more attention on impact than on volume. That's exactly what we did, and that is reflected in these figures. We provided 25.5 billion for SMEs, 16.5 billion for environmental projects, 15.7 billion for infrastructure, and 14.4 billion for innovation. These are large numbers, but we measure our success by the impact they have on people's lives. Let me give you a few examples. Projects signed this past year will create more than 13,000 megawatts of electricity generation capacity, almost all of it from renewable sources. They will provide improved healthcare services to almost 12 million people in Europe. These projects will bring the construction of or upgrades of almost 30,000 kilometers of power lines. They will allow more than 630 million additional trips each year across various modes of public transport. And they will provide improved mobile network services to almost 117 million people in Europe. And by the way, as far as mobile communication is concerned, and mobile banking in particular, around the world.